Minister, bring a response to that tomorrow.
Okay.
A response to that tomorrow.
Which response?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll be careful by not going through the matters that could be internal affairs of the NRM, probably handled by the tribunal. But there are those broad issues, Right Honorable Speaker, that are cross-cutting and on which side of ISO you stand, they are here for Ugandans. And as a result, Honorable Speaker, I'll just talk about those that concern all of us, irrespective. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue about violence meted out to the people, to the voters, and the systematic way. I pity and I don't envisage what is coming, whereby, for instance, there was a communication blackout, telephone masts were hacked, and we couldn't communicate. Some were vandalized, and those who were able to communicate were communicating using military walkie-talkies. So for them, they continued communicating on walkie-talkies, whereas we had communication blackout, the ordinary one we use. Right Honorable Speaker, we had more than 40 commonly known as drones with covered number plates and double cabins with covered number plates. But on top of that, on top of those who are putting on civilians in those vehicles, there were the outright use of military vehicles, particularly the notorious lorry H4DF 3329 with the combat-ready soldiers driving around in support of those Nkoni squad meaning people who are wielding sticks. Right Honorable Speaker, using live ammunition, the use of live ammunition, and the creation of a barracks that isn't known in our police statements, because barracks are set up by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. But in the Remiaga case, a barracks was set up to incarcerate abducted election coordinators and agents. Madam Speaker, was happening. And that cannot be an individual action. That cannot be a general Ashande action. You see, it has now moved from individual competition to adversaries, to enemies, to belligerents. In a country where there is no insurgency, there is no inactivity to warrant the establishment of a military barracks. But sadly, Right Honorable Speaker and members, on the 26th of April, we were having a peaceful rally, and soldiers came driving in a military truck, the H4DF 3329, disembarked, and started shooting at us. They first shot down up, changing magazines.
Ne bino Ssekikubo bino byolaba tebisoose ku ggwe byakolebwa ku Kyagulanyi, abasirikale bebe yatamba nabo bakubwa ne bagibwamu amannyo, abaana bonna ne bakubwa ne bamenyebwa bangi ne battibwa mu 2021. Twabagamba enkola General Museveni nti bannange ekintu nga kikaaye musituke tulwantu yimuse eddoboozi lyaffe mwasirika mwaseka abo bakola bayine fujjo kati Ssekikubo badde babikola badde oyine fujjo lyokoze. You called us violent, ganja people, power angry people. Now, are you power angry? Are you ganja? Are you violent? For those all you are talking about that happened to you, were you violent? Were you a ganja man?
At that time, once you are being shot at from a distance of 5 meters, you can't run. You stand to die. You can't run. I can't say I was strong-hearted, but it doesn't give you room to run, even if you wanted to. But now there is this young man who said, Honorable, they've come to kill you. He came and stood in front of me. And I thought, I pushed him away, mvako, meaning get away from me. Because he himself had life. Little did I know that as I was pushing him, a bullet hit my finger and it took him, shattered his heart, and he collapsed. Bankuye sasi. He died on the spot. That bullet was meant for me because my shirt, my yellow movement shirt, was split with blood of that Fred Sembusi. It is agonizing that you can't even sleep to know you would not be here, you would be dead. You can't be sure you would be here. I knew I would be dead. Once you realize the circumstances of Fred Sembusi's death. But most painful, the culprit, Lieutenant Ziwa, who came aboard that truck and was commanded. At first, himself, he didn't have the rifle in his hands. He moved and picked one from one of the soldiers. He came and held it under his armpit, and he turned and released the bullet that shot Sembusi, Right Honorable Speaker and members. Now the issue, the killer soldier, Lieutenant Ziwa, maintained his barracks at Remiaga. He continued there, and today he's in Remiaga. He's the same Ziwa who even shot at us on the 17th while we were having NRM primaries, shattering the glasses of my vehicle. The same person. So untouchable. I remember at the burial of Sembusi, the commandant of the mechanized division massacre, Major General Sunday, assured the mourners that Lieutenant Ziwa is being held by the army for interrogation. It was a lie. He's still around. He even shot at me on 17th again. Even the chairman's elections, he was still there commanding the operations. And to this, Right Honorable Speaker, those who know the president's intolerance with the use of a gun, how did we arrive at this? For a person to kill, injuring an MP, but also there is another Moses Tebengana, had 8 stitches on his head. He was so lucky that the bullet only went through the skin of the head. It is his vein that got ruptured. It bleeded for 2 days, but now he's okay. But how come that the guns that are supposed to be protecting civilians are being turned against the people? Right Honorable Speaker and members, when all this is said and done, the level of impunity, the soldiers who retired took command. They were not merely opponents, but they took command of the UPDF. There is General Phineas Katirima, and that General Phineas Katirima is the one who even abducted the polling officials and removed the election materials. But the last one, Right Honorable Speaker, before the last election, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Bias Byakagaba, came to Sembabule and assured all of us that the President of Uganda, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, had taken a decision to withdraw the army and allow the police to take the lead. But what we witnessed was the total reverse. The army came back with vengeance. I remember when they were shooting at us, the police ran away. They abandoned us. And wherever the army could appear, the police would somehow find their way out and drive away. And we have the generals, General Phineas Katirima, General Emmanuel Rashad, who is a candidate, but turned into commanding the UPDF. He's the one who ordered Ziwa to go and clear us. And when the officer went back and reported to him, he said, I thought you had killed someone. You killed a dog. That Ssekikubo was never killed because somebody else was killed.
Thank you. Honorable Ssekikubo.
Yes.
The statement that you're giving is under Rule 57. That's a personal explanation. And we are talking about the people who are not in the house. So bring that personal explanation. We look at it, then we shall give you a chance to present it to the house. But that does not mean, can you sit down? That does not mean that we should not investigate this. We'll ask government, Honorable Bua, government, there is a Minister General. We'll ask government to investigate this, but I will need a personal explanation from you. We go through and then we shall give you space to come and present.
I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Next item.
Only that, Right Honourable Speaker.
Lob had something.
Okay, Theodore Ssekikubo ensonga bazimugambye bulungi naye aziwulidde. Bano abasajja tubagamba bulijjo nti bannange eggwanga lyaffe lifugibwa bubi, beefuula kale Ssekikubo olumu agezala ensonga n'ajja n'aswa eddoboozi lye naye NRM bonna wamu beefuula bannampulira zibi ne mubaga bannaye ebizibu biri bwe biti ne bwe biti eggwanga lyaffe lifuba bantu batulugunyiza bantu batutta fuga biriyitiridde effujjo liyitiridde ebikolobero biyitiridde ne baseeka bagamba musaana kubwa kubanga muli bakozi ba bikolobero mulina effujjo kibagwanidde leero kiri ku bo bakekema mukekema empola.